I'm loading in as well, so I've got timing up. Oh, beautiful. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you are in the world. This is the International Sim Drivers Association, and my name is Ike Sky. Back for the start of another season. This time it is the Spring 2022 GT3 season that you join us for. I is currently on the 24 car
from wherever you are in the world.
of John Chich.
This is the International Sim
Another
Drivers Association.
season, obviously, of names being absolutely butchered, as always. Just coming through the first sector now of this Paul Ricard circuit. Very quickly getting everything nicely set up here. Paul Ricard has a mixed reputation, but it is carrying the opening bout of this ISDA GT3 season today. Plenty of heat in the track, plenty of heat in the air as well, so perhaps the turbo engine struggling a bit more for pace down this massive Mistral straight that Zoran is taking us down at the moment. A lot of new drivers joining the series this time out, but we will get to those in time for sure. This is just round one of a multiple round championship, so if you aren't signed up yet, make sure that you get over to the ISDA Racing website. A beautiful dashboard made by one of the crew members here, and get yourself signed up and pick your car and join us out on the track as well. We have a pro and an AM championship, something else we will also be able to get involved with at some point during the race. But on the split times at the moment, very early into this qualifying session, 10 minutes still remaining. Minton looks like he's on a fast one in that 888 racing Bentley for the Minton car this time. Very different prospect to what we've seen him driving before. We have seen him in a Bentley before, but not for a long time. Perhaps the BMW not suiting the British man's driving, but he is up on his previous times at the moment, half a second in fact, so this is enough to get within touching distance of the leader. We know Dan Minton is very quick, so they shouldn't be surprising us for the time being. Plenty of other times going on around the lap, but it is Mr. Minton who is coming out of the final corner now. He is within a shout of pole position for the time being. He'll come across the line and will take... Ooh. He will not go any further. That looks as though he must have broken track limits very late in the lap or something akin to that. There is Zivkovic in the 68 Lamborghini, who is in the pro class but suffering with the pace of the Lamborghini as well in this early stage. Plenty of time for laps to come up. Matthias Metz is leading the way at the moment in that 886 Mercedes AMG with a 155.2, with Joncic 0.17 of a second behind at the moment. For what it's worth, as MotoGP Racing Highlights says something in there immediately, I am watching YouTube chat as well, so we only have a couple of sets of eyes on this. If there's stuff that we're missing that you're seeing, be sure to put it in the YouTube chat. Stick in the YouTube comments as well. If you're watching this post-race, we do love to hear all of your comments, whether it's for race direction or whether it's just to say how incredible the racing can be. Minton is going faster again. Hopefully he'll be able to keep the times, the car on the track this time. For the moment, he is looking like he's going quicker, but not quick enough to depose mechs from the top of the timing screens. That said, he could get close to it. Oh, he's lost a load of speed coming out of the final sector and will remain 6th. So Minton struggling with that BMW, it seems like. Anthony Wilson, a name that we are not so familiar with from ISDA, but I am a little bit familiar with. In the Amcar, number 96 is circulating at the moment. Is going ever so slightly, well no, he's going significantly quicker than he has before. This is a reasonable time, but he has invalidated his lap time. A lot of logistical nightmare racing teams in the race tonight. There was a few comments made about how they were jumping into ISDA racing. A real good boon for ISDA for sure, as logistical nightmare have proven their salt many times to my mind.
Green light, give it all you can.
That was all practice. I thought that was qualifying. I wondered why the timing was ever so slightly off. Now we see the cars leave for the qualifying session proper. I did not realise that we were running so far behind on the track schedule. Well and truly got that wrong, haven't I? So, 20 minutes it is that we have to set the grid for this first round of the championship. We saw the drivers getting their eye in, and now you have as much wisdom as we do as to who might be leading the way at the top of the timing screens come the end of this session. Names to look for, such as Mex, and half of the names have disappeared for me now. Brilliant. Zivkovic is a man who we will be seeing up there. Zivkovic is a man to see if we can improve his timings. Noble is a man, I think he's running he's in the 28 car. Is this the Aston Martin still? Or no, he's switched to the McLaren. Bean's number 28 car. And is running in the Pro class as well. He's a man who can be very, very quick at times. Perhaps that carbon monocoque chassis McLaren is the more beneficial solution for the British driver. But who else do we have going around the circuit? Andrew Brooker in the 130. Porsche looking resplendent in that yellow and black as always. Currently sitting in third. I'm not sure if that will stay there. The Porsches are very, very difficult to wrangle around this French circuit. Good evening, Dan. How are you doing, my friend? But see if that yellow and black car can make it work through sectors 1 and 3. We know for sure that he's going to be struggling through sector 2. But if he can hook up that Porsche through the final sector especially, then we could well see a very strong qualifying and race, in fact, for the Andrew Brooker car. Elsewhere around the track, we were just saying actually, Dan, Mr. Minton in the YouTube chat, your switch to Bentley seems like an odd choice, bearing in mind the blistering pace, quote unquote, of the M4 GT3 car. Be interested to find out if there was a specific reason for the change. By all means, feel free to jump in pre-race as well if you find yourself with a minute or two, or keep an eye on the room. The man goes out for his warm-up lap, so I don't think he will be. See the pit out on the dashboards. First lap, still no qualifying times been completed. This will be the first of our representative times come through. We should see about 5 or 6 come through very, very quickly. Minton has spied a hole for him to slot into in the traffic. 156.495 for Andrew Brooker, first time out in the 130. That's a very, very good time for the Porsche here. And who will, it's Borovic to the top with a 155.715. I'm shocked that I see a Pirate racing car in a BMW livery. That is shocking to see them abandon the Stuttgart badge. But Mex leads the way in these early stages of qualifying. 155.522 is the benchmark. See who has got the legs to be able to improve on that. It looks like Borovic is having a good run at the moment, potentially fast enough to depose the 886 car, but we'll have to see how that goes. Dunster looks like he's had a bit of a lap to forget in the number 4 car in the short term. Miljevic, oh my goodness, Miljevic in the number 7 McLaren has absolutely floored the rest of the field and taken 4th place overall in the AM car number 7. That's astonishing pace from Miljevic. He's letting his teammate come past now. So, how are our timings going? We have a couple of Jamie Noble in that McLaren as is immediately deposed by Borovic. So the track is going to be getting faster here. 22 car, 28 car, and 55 all originally were within 0.2 of each other, but now Mex takes the lead for provisional pole in that Mercedes, bouncing over the Sector 1 chicanes. What an incredible time from the 886 car. Who else is going faster? Zončić is up there. Borovic is going on a cool-down lap and taking some well-earned rest on those tyres. Mr. Noble is going faster if he can hold it together through this final sector. Just behind our camera car, there is a very, very quick McLaren who has been using the... Oh, he's abandoned. That's a shame. Was using the BMW as a pick to try and get some extra straight line speed down the straights. Very difficult thing to do through this, through the Mistral straight, as you end up running out of gears before you run out of horsepower with these GT3 cars. Miljevic in the number 7 is going faster again, as is Minton. Minton is on a tear through the first sector. I love the new team name as well for that 888 car. Mintec Simsport. Out onto the Mistral straight goes the Minton Racing Bentley. See what aftermarket parts Mintec have been able to produce to get some extra speed out of that Bentley. A very old homologation for that GT3 car, but for sure one of the most impressive interpretations of the GT3 formula, taking a proper bruiser of a car for the luxury segment and stripping it out, widening the track as well from M Sport in England, and now in the hands of Dan Minton. Half a second up on his previous times. That's not enough to get him to pole, as we've seen before. Hopefully he can hold it together through this final sector and get himself up there. It would be great to see the Bentley so far up the grid, especially with what is a very impressive livery for the 888 car. Out of the final corner, he's got the drive. He's going to come back across the line. He's going to go for another lap as well. That takes him to second and front row on the grid, 0.04 of a second and 0.02 of a second ahead of the 22 BMW. What a showing for the 888 car. Mex still holds the, oh my goodness, Mex still holds the fastest lap, but only in the first sector. In the second sector, it is the 4th place 24 car of Joncic who is fastest there, and in the final sector, it is the McLaren of Jamie Noble that is fastest at the moment. Everybody seems to be having a bit of a lull for a moment. Vermeulen in the 39 car is circulating. Looks as though he's only just come out the pits, running around in the muted banana car, goes straight to 8th position. Excellent, excellent lap time for Vermeulen, and the 42 of Venter will take second in the AM class as well. Team Slow Banana. Oh, big old switch for Paul Venter there. What else is going on around the circuit? Sean Burke was doing well, but has dropped off ever so slightly. He's running a really decent time in that number 2 car. Sabata in the 777, that's a name I don't recognize. Malo Sabata in the 777 AMG is going faster, has kept it on the black stuff so far. Meanwhile, Remco Langdijk comes across the line, will go to 21st overall, but perhaps not a track that is suiting the AMG tonight, or that particular AMG for sure. Good evening, Tom Minton. Mex might have had a disconnection. I will give me half a second. Don't see. Mex is at the top of the timing screens according to me. That looks like it might be internet troubles for Mex, which is going to make an interesting race should it's so a couple of things coming through from race direction. There may be some changes between the Pro and AM class tonight. After tonight's race, it seems as though there were some non-representative lap times and stints that went on pre-race or pre-season. That is absolutely understandable. This is what BOP and class systems are known for, is for causing issues. We have just under 7 minutes remaining. Mex leads the way with Dan Minton alongside in second. Philippe Barvet is second on the second row with Joncic in the 24 Honda. Honda NSX to 4th position is a mighty, mighty gambit for Zoran there. Jamie Noble in the 28 McLaren to 5th position for the moment. Van Coyle in the 55 BMW is to 6th. Bullion in the 58 car is 7th. Neutralized is in 8th. Jacques Vermeulen in the 39 Pro car is 9th. And 10th is Zivkovic in the 68 Lamborghini. So getting to grips with that. No, Tom, you're absolutely fine. This is, I saw exactly the same as you did. That will be either some kind of disconnection, or it will be just some level of ping issue. The technical difficulties that we get to look at. That 899 McLaren is looking very high vis, I think is the word for Neutralized. Not carrying a team name this time, which is a shame. Who else do we need to look at? Where is... So, Matej Miksik in the Not Pirate Racing car 996 is looking to go faster, is 3/10 up on his previous time at the moment, as is C. Drake as well in the 199 AMG. Whereas the 58 car Boolean is going faster too. He's going to come out of the final corner. Has he got the drive? He has indeed got the drive. Comes back across the line and goes to 4th position. So now Djonjic pushed to the 3rd row of the grid, and perhaps the more preferential side of the grid, depending on how this rolling start takes place. Meanwhile, oh my goodness, Mattia Mex in the 886 car at the end of the Mistral Straight is 1.3 seconds faster than his previous lap time. He has the final sector to complete, but at the moment this is a monster of a time and an absolute benchmark. Oh, he's just had it invalidated. Just got that up on the timing and scoring screen. That is such a shame. But what a time he's about to set. Is really, really unlucky to not have that given to him. That was going to be a 1 minute 54.8 for Mattia, and now he has to do it all over again down into turns 1 and 2 for the Adria Racing Team Mercedes. Oh my goodness, he's half a second up already coming through the first sector. Someone needs to balance the performance. Mattia here comes to one of the slowest corners of the circuit, used the weight in the front of that chassis to hurl it into, my goodness, into the long apex at the bottom of the Mistral Straight. A quick kick left, and now just hope and pray. He's a second up at the end of the first split, but didn't get the drive, so is now losing time coming down the Mistral Straight. That is a number that is only going to go down. But look at the competition that we have as we have come down to 2 minutes to go. The top, oh my goodness, the top 10 are separated by 3.5 tenths. And there is one AMCAR. I have a feeling that Miljevic is going to be moved to the Pro Class in that number 7 car. I dare say that might be upcoming. What else? We have some drivers who are absolutely not going to be taking any more part. Dan Winton has cried enough as he gets pushed to 3rd position as Barvet takes provisional pole position. But this time, this is going to be... Oh, he didn't get the time together as well. Mex again pushed us to one side. And will go He has one more bite of this particular cherry. He has one more opportunity to try and make this happen. Miljevic is going even faster than he has before as well. He will go no faster. Cool. The 886 returns to the pits. The number 7 car is up on his previous times. This is going to be very misleading as the driver is going to be pushed to Pro. But out onto the Mistral Straight comes the Golem Project Racing car of Marko Miljevic. Gets up behind the Mercedes to try and get some draft. Staying well out of the way is that Mercedes. Very good showing there. I think they're not going to be able to get another lap in, unfortunately. But that 7 car looking very, very, very sweet underneath Miljevic. Seconds now to go. Until the end of the session. That is it. We now wait for the rest of the drivers to complete their laps. Yeah, Miljevic at the dying death was not able to make it happen. What else do we have going on the circuit? It looks as though everybody has timed their qualifying laps reasonably well. George Van Coyle is... he's coming around the final corner now. He's faster than he has been by 3.5 tenths of a second. He will come up towards the line now. A brilliant drive off the final corner and take himself from 27th to 23rd. And that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th overall. Brilliant finish for him. There are no other drivers going noticeably faster. Tonsatic in the Audi R8 is coming. I don't think, I thought that was a cooling down lap, unfortunately. And race director has made the same mistake as I make all the time. There we go. So, your qualifying results. Philippe Borovets will lead the way in the Pirate Racing BMW. That's a very new thing to have to say. Mathieu Mex in the Mercedes AMG GT3. I wonder if that AMG has had a balance of performance break. The 886 is followed by Dan Minton in the 888 Bentley. Tonsatic, Djonjic will lead the Hondas. I don't think there even are any other Hondas in this grid, so a brave choice from Djonjic to take that GT3 Evo car to 4th position. Bouillon will start in 5th position, with Miljevic in 6th. Jamie Noble in that McLaren leading Nida Zak on the 4th row of the grid. Igor Van Coyle will start the 55 BMW from 9th, with Miksik in 10th position. That rounds out your top 10, the first 5 rows of the grid. Anthony Doyle will take the 85 BMW from 11th. Drake with the 199 will start 12th. Brooker in 13th with that 130 Porsche. Plenty of work to do for Andrew Brooker there. Paul Venter, the first of our AM class drivers, will lead one of the other logistical nightmare drivers to the green flag. Zivkovic will take his Lamborghini again. I think he is a solo Lamborghini driver as well. That is correct. From 16th, Miljevic will follow him with Sean Buck in the number 2 BMW M4 GT3 car in 18th. Remco Langendijk languishing in 19th with Vuertes in the Evo 2 Audi from 20th. Anthony Wilson in the BMW M4 GT3 leads the 44 and 990 of Doyle and George Van Coyle. Also Winkler in the 24th position will lead Robson. From Sabata, from Tosnetic, from Bullion, from Neil Greening, from David Dunster, I think it's David Dunster, from Vucinic, rounding out the final
10 seconds
of the grid. A 31-car field is absolutely no joke, and as the drivers all get away for their formation lap to get all their tyres and brakes up to temperature, let's have a word from our sponsors. SLP for sponsoring the series. It makes this all so much easier to be able to do. So as the drivers get everything's warmed up, let me get you all warmed up for what we have coming in this season of the International Sim Drivers Association GT3 spring season. Tonight we are at the Paul Ricard circuit in France for a 1-hour sprint race, with the conditions being as gorgeous as you see them now. 42 degrees on the track, so it's going to be very, very difficult to keep the tyres underneath, especially the front engine cars at the head of the field. Next week we will be I'll put my teeth back in, shall I? Next week we shall be visiting the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari. I'm guessing that's Imola, in the Italian countryside. Then we visit South Africa, the home of half of the grid here, for the hour-long race at Kyalami. Then we go from the wonderful southern hemisphere back to Rainier Blighty for the Donington Park round of the championship. That's round 4. Round 5 we'll be visiting the Netherlands and Circuit Zolder, one of my personal favourite circuits in Assetto Corsa Competizione. And after that we will be visiting the GT World Challenge circuit of Suzuka International, which again, an absolutely incredible race that I can't wait to see how these GT3 drivers handle it. Rounding out the season with a sprint at the Brands Hatch International Circuit, and that will take us up to the 26th of May, an 7-round championship for us to look forward to. And I must admit that AMG is a terrifying prospect at the moment, lacking the lack of top speed that the Porsche has ahead of him. Where is the Porsche gone? Sorry, the BMW. This is how used I am to having Borovets in a Porsche. But yes, a very different challenge this year. The first of the mid-engine cars is actually Joncic in that Honda NSX, so a Honda leading the mid-engine. And then the next that we have is actually the McLaren of Miljevic. So front-engine cars leading the way. It's not something we see yet very often, but it's something we're going to get tonight from Paul Ricard. 2 by 2, they will form up on the grid. A very slow approach to the green we come. As they come underneath the gantry, we'll watch the segment go green, and we are go for an hour of Paul Ricard. A great launch from Mex will put him alongside Borovic as they come into turn 1, but the Bentley and the Honda are trying to make progress as well. They all bunch up through turns 1 and 2, but they come out, and the Mercedes gets the lead, but it looks as though Minton has had a little bit of oversteer and a massive kick off to the outside. It's yellow.
Full course yellow, slow down to 80 kilometers per hour.
We have the full course yellow called. So replay of the start, just Minton getting a little bit loose there through turn 2, took out, I think, the Beans car, and we had cars stranded across the road. So, oh, and it looks as though Noble just there was only just got his, oh my goodness, there was even more that went on up the corner. Very, very decisive action taken by the race director to neutralize the race and get all of the drivers back on the circuit as quickly as possible. This will be a very boring start for the leading drivers. How has that shuffled the rest of the pack? Neither Zach already up to 4th position in the 899, with 2 of the drivers being taken out in front of him. Joncic has fallen all the way back, was ever so slightly held up in the incident for Minton. But Sean Buck has absolutely dominated the start of that race and has put himself 2nd in the AM class. That is an incredible start by the number 2 BMW. Where is Paul Venter? Has dropped back in that 42 car as well. So what is the state of the Venter car? It all looks straight at the moment. I think the car is straight and true. Only one way to find out, and that will be when he eventually pits.
Safety car, full course yellow is abolished, safety car is out on track, no overtaking.
So the drivers will pack up behind the safety car, and we will try and do this all over again. Jamie Noble from the back of the field is going to have the drive of his life to try and get back up to the rest of the pro field. He's got the speed in that McLaren. As to whether he has the overtaking ability, we wait to see the safety car waiting patiently at pit exit. So race neutralized for the cleanup operations in this early stage of the race. It's going to be a very different prospect the next time these drivers come to the green flag. But what other drivers have made their way? So Venter must have had some level of damage to be able to drop into the pits. Minton too, and who is, I think that's the Noble car behind. So Minton, Venter and Noble in the pits, Joncic and Miljevic in the pits too, unsurprisingly. Lovely arty photo from the race director. Not as much damage as we might have expected for the 24 car, but this one is going to be a long one for Dan Minton. Lost it going through turn 2 and then collected a number of cars on the way through. Borovic leads the way then. Miksic has absconded. Where did the... hang on. Just consulting timing screens for a moment. Where has the AMG of... Now this is an interesting one. Mex has vanished from the timing screens again. No, he hasn't. Mattia Mex in the 886 is in 24th position. He's in the queue. He hasn't pitted, but what has happened to the 886 car? He's had no incident apparently. That's a weird one. That is. See, now we need to know. So Mex did have an incident, but entirely on his own. It looks like. So that was the secondary impact that we saw. So the Mercedes had... Oh, the Mercedes had the lead coming out of turn 2, but was pushed. That was pushed by Borovets. He heard the yellow being called before Borovets did, and obviously got off the throttle. Borovets thought that the race was still on, so that ultra-quick 886 Mercedes has got lots and lots of work to do. You're missing nothing. We are still under safety car, as you can see. So, a couple of pro cars here. Dan Minton, Jamie Noble, Joncic, Mattia Mex. Bullion still in the pits by the looks of it. Yet the LNR Academy car, the 58 BMW, still stuck in the pits, is on the floor now. Will roll away. That is going to be an awful long pit stop for the 58 BMW. So a very lonely... Well, it will be qualifying runs to get back to the field.
Safety car will go in this lap. Racing to resume at the end of this lap. Safety car goes in this lap.
And that's what we were waiting for, was the pit stops to be finished that caused that accident. Very, very fair assessments from the race direction. As you saw the drivers lining up 2 by 2, they don't need to be doing that. In fact, they probably shouldn't be doing that. It's a single file finish, single file start. But all things being equal, it looks as though Bullion should catch up to the field by the time they come round the final corner. He definitely won't have much of a disadvantage. But the safety car disappears up the road. There he is. Look at the gap he's created already. Borovets knows what he's doing. He's led plenty of restarts. This time from a BMW, he rounds the second to last corner. He would be unwise to go too quickly before that final corner. But we are back racing again, single file as they come across the line. Borovets from Miksic, from Drake, from Zach, from Doyle, from Zivkovic, from Van Coyle, from Brooker, from Vermeulen, from Buck, now leading the AM class very handily in that number 2 BMW, side by side for second position as Miksic dives up the outside of the Drake car. Drake car now to the outside, the 199 car, trying to get on the brakes into the second chicane, gets it done. BMW first, Mercedes second once again, but this time a very, very different order. As they come round up the hill onto the Mistral Straight for the first time, we ride on board with Neutralized. A Porsche in front. It should be like taking candy from a baby for Neutralized here. The McLaren, one of the faster cars in the straight line. The Porsche, slowest of all. All of that down to balance performance. The Porsche is excellent in the twisty stuff, but just happens to lose out in these faster areas. The Lamborghini of Zivkovic up behind the McLaren is looking to defend a position. Mercedes goes sideways at Buisson and loses out. That is Andy Brooker too, looking to over under the BMW of Igor Van Coyle. Loses out again through Buisson, an action area. That really long right-hander definitely showing the performance of these chassis. 68 car now up under the wing of Neutralized. They do all close up very much in this final sector. Goes to the outside of the 68 as the McLaren tries to avoid the Porsche. He looks at a wall of engine as he comes out onto the start-finish straight. What is Zivkovic going to do? He goes to the outside. Porsche goes defensive. McLaren drops to the outside. He is not paying attention to the Lamborghini in the mirrors right now. He has his eyes forward and focusing on that Porsche 996. If he can keep it all together through this first sector, that Porsche is going to be mincemeat by the time they get to the straight, but he can't. Gets on the brakes, a little bit unstable, and a spin for Jacques Vermeulen. Avoiding the... Oh, and it is the slightest of taps. It's a tap for... What was the other BMW that got taken out there? Was that the... I think that was the Corvette. I think that was... We had... I think that was Venter and the... and Vermeulen getting together and then being pushed into an even further spin by the Porsche. Meanwhile, Mattia Mex begins their march up the field. The Audi in front doesn't have much of a chance compared to that Mercedes. Perhaps in a straight line, however, things are slightly different. It is an Evo 2 that sits in front, and that is a monster of a car. Up the inside into Buisson they come. The Mercedes, sorry, gets up the inside. Jamie Noble follows him cheekily through on that Audi. No position really gained through that other than the position on the track. Their next pro car, the next car they need to make an actual position in their class on, is the 806 Audi of Vueltas. The BMW is absconded offline. That's there's an interesting game to be played here by those following these two battling pro cars as Jamie Noble looks up the inside. There is an opportunity, especially for the Audi here, to be able to stick to the coattails of these pro class cars and work his way up the AM cars, just following them through. It looks as though a lot of the AM class cars are just getting out of the way and not wanting to pay any attention as the 24 NSX runs wide in turn 1 as well. What has happened there? Through turn 1 and 2 they come. Is it going to be contact? No. He sticks to the outside, gets over the curbs. Oh, it was a shoulder barge off the track. So lots and lots of contact going on in this early stage. We see this a lot in these opening rounds as everybody's just learning how to race around each other, but the NSX has been pushed down to... Where has it gone in the order of things? Oh, it got pushed a long way back. Where where's the Honda gone? The 24 is Joncic 29. So that is a big old incident that he has had in the end. Now behind the BMW of Igor Van Coyle, lots of pro cars in the lower positions at the moment. Oh, and another incident for Joncic. That's where... What on earth happened there? So he's in the middle of nowhere. I didn't expect that to be an issue. Got a massive twitch. Oh, and goes straight into the side of, is that the 164? 764 Robson. Wilfred Robson, he would have felt that on his direct drive, on his steering wheel. Massive, massive impact. Robson, now we get to see the incident that left him sideways across the track, hunting down the car in front. Comes through Signa. All looks well at the moment. There's an LNR car going defensive up the inside. Oh, gets on the brakes and has a beautiful tap on the, what looks like the Dunster car, perhaps? No, it's not the Dunster car. There was a BMW. Bullion, perhaps, in the...
This is race control. Lap 1 and turn 1 and 2 under investigation. Lap 1, turn 1 and 2.
That's a terrifying thing to try and work out. I feel like there might be a penalty coming for the 888 car. Not what it needs at this point in the season, at this point in the race, but for sure it was, if anything, Minton getting loose that caused the issue. But it was an accident. It wasn't done on purpose, but the best term for it is incident responsibility. However, the procedure on slowing down for the Code 80 and the safety car procedure, I think there might be a penalty coming for our race leader with that touch on the 886 car just after the accident started. It would be very, very difficult to deny that one. Again, not my job to make those decisions. Thankfully, there are much cleverer people to make those decisions for us. Matej Mex is on the defensive, whereas Matej Mikcik is doing really well in that 996 Porsche, has held off the intentions of Nida Zak and is now pressuring for second position once again. Whereas, Sean Buck now on the offensive against Anthony Doyle, takes the position on the Mistral Straight, comes through Signa Corner, and that is that position cemented for the time being. Number 2, Logistical Nightmare Racing BMW is now leading with a comfortable cushion to the cars behind. Meanwhile, Andrew Brooker coming down into Bendel Corner has the Audi, I think that's the 806, the Audi Gen 2 in front. That is the Evo 2 in front of the Porsche. Not going to see too much more of this 991 Porsche, as there will be newer Porsches coming out. Plenty of updates being pushed for them as well. Now the Bentley of Otto Winkler behind. This wouldn't be a position in class even if he did go for the pass. It would just be about road position and getting closer to the 96 BMW of Wilson. Meanwhile, we have 5 minutes until the pit window opens. The 28 car of Jamie Noble, trying to push up, has actually overtaken, it is leading the cars that were involved in that turn 1 incident. I think that's about right. I don't think that he was involved of his own accord. Looks to the outside of the Audi, and in a straight line race, even the Evo 2 cannot fight off that 720S McLaren. Extraordinary straight line pace in that McLaren GT3 car. Meanwhile, the 888 car trying still to get past the number 7. Oh no, this will be a pro car, so a lot of the drivers involved in that early incident slowly progressing up the field now. Jamie Noble leads the way, Miljevic is second and Minton is third in that little band of drivers who took repairs in the safety car period. That won't obviously count towards their pit stops. Out across the line, and these two have to work really hard together to fight amongst themselves but not lose too much time, because if they lose time, they aren't going to be making any progress towards the places where those cars actually can get to. What else is going on around the circuit? There's a lovely little train just outside the top 10. 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, all separated by fairly short pieces of strings. The 806 Audi of Wetters leads the way, with Otto Winkler now under pressure from Andrew Brooker. Perhaps not with the draft, but the car that is making progress is the 990 of Van Coyle. Is going for the pass on Doyle in the 44, up the inside in Signature, BMW versus BMW, and space given and lent by Doyle. He will be hoping probably to see some space given him if he has the pace to get back. So now George Van Coyle joins this fight over 12th position in the very short term. That BMW M Sport livery looking incredible on the 990 car. Just looks as though that Bentley is starting to run out of tyre or some performance somewhere, and that's what's keeping the Porsche in touch. Let's jump on board with Andrew Brooker and enjoy the noise of this Porsche hunting down the 82 of Brooker. the pit window opens, and we now need to ask who is going to jump and who is going to be pushed into the pits. I would say there are a couple of drivers who would be very wise, and Andrew Brooker is one of them, to jump straight into the pits. Van Coyle will follow in as well. There's another BMW that Paul Venter will drop in. A slew of cars taking the option to pit in this very early stage. Who is the... It is Aidan Doyle who is the leader going in. Andrew Brooker, Paul Venter, Igor Van Coyle, Niall Bullion, Jacques Vermeulen, Mixic, Wilson, Robson, both Van Coyle's deciding to pit early, with Doyle too deciding to drop in as well. This is where the strategy becomes very, very difficult to work out, and all of the gaps go to hell for a couple of minutes while we try and work out what's going on with the actual road positions. Essentially, there's two ways that you really want to do it. Treat this like a joker lap from Rallycross. You either pit early, take that joker lap early, get it out of the way, and then trust in the performance of your car to undercut or overhaul the rest of the field. Or you run on the tyres that you have, and as quick as you can get to the end of the pit window and have fresher tyres to the end. Not that there's that much cut-off. There's not much drop-off in these GT3 spec tyres. However, still very important to choose your strategy correctly. Into the pits comes Sean Buck from second position. Jamie Noble in the 28 car drops into the pits as well. Vicinich missed his pit box, so now has to reverse in the MVR car, just getting everything. And Dunster still in the pits as well. That's a very long pit stop for the Pirate Racing Academy car. That's not good at the moment. Not a problem, plenty of time to make up positions through the rest of the race. And that's the other thing that you get with this is, for example, the number 2 car of Buck has a 27 second gap to the next car. That is entirely because of pit stop. What that also means is that he has 26 seconds of clear air. So plenty of track for him to stretch the legs on the number 2 BMW. And make the most of what he has there. Oh, the 899 goes round. What was that? Just getting on the sausage curbs on the inside? So, did I... There is now damage on the front of the Lamborghini. I was looking at my timing screens trying to work out where everybody was going, and it looks as though, oh, the Lamborghini's going to have a suicide dive up the inside. Oh, that was never going to be on. I think that was a bit of a misstep for the 68 car. of Zivkovic, that I dare say is going to be a penalty coming through. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw that come to light. Remco Langendijk is now on the back of an ISDA.
This is race control. Car number 58 gets a 5-second time penalty for not holding brakes during incident in lap 1, turn 2. All drivers are under investigation for full course yellow behavior. Car number 24 and 888, lap 1, turn 2, racing incident, no further action. The race control now investigates lap 6, turn 9 between cars 24 and 764. Over.
That is incredibly fair. That is incredibly fair from race control, not punishing what was essentially an incident created entirely from the first lap and the pack being so close. Very, very fair indeed. There's still 11 cars left to serve their pits, and we're over halfway through this pit window. So Remco Langendijk to the pits, and here we go. This will be the final bout. The leader is in the pits. The 199 car is in the pits. Miljevic in the pits. Langendijk in the pits. Dan Minton, Max Zivkovic, Zach Sabata, all into the pit boxes, and now we watch the stagger unwind. Where are these drivers going to fall out? Otto Winkler leads the way now in the AM class 82 Bentley, but he still has a pit stop to serve as well. Philippe Barbets is down and rolling. And a drive-through for the 199, speeding in the pit lane for the leading Mercedes. It is not a day for the Mercedes drivers today. Mex in the 886 is down, it looks like, on the timing screens. And we will soon find out if they've made any positions in the clear air. Wait for the timing and scoring to catch up. Unfortunately, we don't have any better data than what you're seeing in the cars at the moment. It looks as though Zach may have fallen back, or am I misreading? No, that is just drivers falling back into position. Otto Winkler to the pits. Miljevic, I think we will see drop into the pits as well. Jamie Noble hunting down the McLaren, the Aston Martin of Langendijk. Langendijk goes defensive. This is for positioning class as well. Round the outside goes the McLaren. Can it be done? I'll be very surprised if he does. He has the overspeed though to get back to the inside, but now the Aston Martin will have that overspeed on the exit. God, they're doing this the difficult way. Jamie tucks back in behind. He's going to have another look on the braking zone towards the end of the lap. Delatour up the inside on the brakes. He can't. Ooh, lots of space given by the Aston Martin at DuPont, and across the line the McLaren will lead, but the Aston Martin's still alongside in the last stages of the acceleration. The Aston Martin's got the higher speed. They both get on the brakes in towards turn 1. They are still side by side. The McLaren finally seals it with the right-hander at turn 2, but that was an extraordinary fight, and now the McLaren has to go defensive again because the Aston's trying to come back around the outside. The Aston can keep a much higher speed, and the Aston Martin goes back through. The track goes right, left, right, so the McLaren might come back through again, but all of this is creating a train behind both of them. McLaren's going to look up the inside now of Miljevic, And perhaps Remco is going to lose out on 2 positions here, not just one. There is a Bentley there of Dan Minton. The 888 car has been promoted all the way to 9th position, who might also be able to take that position as well. The drafting train begins up the Mistral straight. And now you can see this train of cars slowly getting their way towards each other. There is a wall of metal in front of Dan Minton. As they come into Signa side by side, this is going to get very messy. The slightest of contact, and Minton in the Bentley is going to go right up the inside of both of them. On the brakes, he manages to keep it all hanging together. But the McLaren's out wide. The Bentley is going to have the space up the inside. Cut back potentially for Miljevic here, but some intelligent and experienced driving from the 888 car. Let back through, I think, was that McLaren. Was the Aston Martin not wanting to have any part in that fight. Now the position becomes... now the fight becomes over Minton and Miljevic in the 888 and 998 cars, respectively. All of this is going to be pushed up slightly as well. Big dive to the inside. Ooh, potentially a dive to the inside for, I think that was Aiden Wilson in the BMW, just in front of this fight with Neutralized and Miljevic. So
this is race control. Incident between cars 24 and 764 on lap 6, turn 9. Car number 764 gets 10-second time penalty. The race control now investigates cars 39 and 55 for lap 5, turn 3 incident. Over.
Plenty of incidents, and that is the number 7 car off wide with the Nida Zach is ahead of this battle. Which car is that? That is... It's not Miljevic. It was Aiden Wilson. Just got it ever so slightly wrong. Up behind, Mercedes versus Porsche. This is going to be a very difficult fight. Andrew Brucker up against the 886. Oh my goodness. Your ex-pole sitter. Well, no, he wasn't pole sitter. He led out of turn 2. Did Mattia Mex. An awful incident put him to pretty much the back of the grid, and now he needs to find his way back up the field. On the brakes into DuPont. And into turn 1 they come. No attempts made so far. These cars are going to be very, very similar. Beautiful, beautiful sounds coming from all these GT3 cars, though. Winkler in the 82. Has got the legs, it looks like, on Van Coyle here. Defending all the way to the inside. And up ahead, there is Mex trying to do the same to Andrew Brucker. Coming to Signa, and the Bentley is ahead quite handily, is able to take the normal racing line. Up ahead though, look at the battle ahead. Andrew Brucker, Mattia Mex. These guys both pro class cars. Oh, and there's a spin in front. That is a really unfortunate incident for Winkler there. was driving so well, just many cars into one. Absolutely did not go. I would love to get a replay of that. Switching, trying to look at so many different things. Oh, so it was Mattia Mex that got it wrong on the unrubbered in line, and then all the front engine cars decided to let go at once. Really unfortunate, really unfortunate incident, that one. And I absolutely do not envy, you can see some of the penalties on the screen there, I do not envy any of the race stewards tonight.
Cool. Car number 39 gets a drive-through for causing collisions with car 55 on lap 5. In case of failing to go back on track, the car number 39 will serve drive-through at the next race. Over.
There we go. Very standard penalty is that one. And ahead of the field, yeah, this is what I just saw on my timing screen as well. Sean Buck currently circulating in 3rd position. Who put this man in AM class? Meanwhile, Nida Zak looks left and right, trying to find a way past the 806 Audi. The Audi goes out wide, and that is all the opportunity that the McLaren needs. Gets the power down, but the Audi's still alongside. Space will be given by both. I think we've seen this done before. Very well driven from both of them. But the McLaren will get on the brakes, swerve in front of the Audi, cut off any kind of attempt to outbrake up the inside, and that is the position handily made by the McLaren driver. Mattia Mex now looking to make up even more time that he has suffered. Up the start-finish straight they come. This should be a fairly easy pass on Van Coyle. There's not a lot of point to fighting this. They aren't in the same class, and I think that may have been an ever so slight breath off the throttle. No, it wasn't, in fact. I think I would have, if it was me, I would have let that Mercedes through, knowing how quick they are. But I do have my commentating brain on and not my race driver brain. It'd be a very different concept if I were actually driving in this race. Oh, Aidan Doyle, there is a train on the Mistral straight. Leading the way is Nida Zak, with Miljevic in the 998 just behind. Has actually lost out to Fuertes in all of that. Oh, Fuertes runs very wide. 2 McLarens come in towards Busson. Sideways moment, very well held for Miljevic there, but that's going to give the opportunity to the 85 Vaden Doyle, and perhaps given the position back. It seems like an odd thing to do, but the 96 of Anthony Wilson trying to maximize on that and get the position made, but that is not going to happen for the time being. Miljevic. So we have 2 Miljevic's. That's what's going on. I can't believe I've only just seen that. So the 998 has let the 7 through. Trying to push up. There is a lot of work to be done to get up to that first place car though. Oh no. It's the 199 car. The game froze as he went into the pits. So is that, you had two drive-through penalties, right? Yeah, no, I get that. If you wish to have a quick word, if you're not too hot under the collar, by all means jump into the comp box and we can have words with your race so far. I think it would be good to speak to you because I've not spoken to you before. I know that one for sure. On the Mistral Straight that is Mattia Mex pushing the BMW 990 along the Mistral Straight. Van Coyle, who has a drive-through, he's not going to be able to make the pass this time, but maybe push him closer to the 44 car. Oh, that BMW's out very wide. Those M4s look absolutely peculiar with these. It's a Dracosa. It's a Drake that we have in for a mid-race interview. We don't get this very often, but very quickly, so I can remember for the rest of the season. What's your first name?
Cameron.
Cameron Drake, welcome to the comp box. I really wish it was under better circumstances. But you got 2 drive-through penalties. Just the game freezing on pit entry.
Yeah, on my first scheduled pit stop, I had a big lag spike, lost about 3 or 4 seconds of frames, and then I spent the next 45 seconds worrying whether or not I'd get a drive-through, and then as soon as I left, yep, had it. So I served it, and then once exiting the pits on the next lap, tired of the cold, went off track and got another drive-through.
Oh, so that's such an unfortunate. You were doing so well in the race as well. It really was an excellent display of your driving. It's really unfortunate that it's ended this way.
It was a very frantic start. Yeah, I myself and the 996, I believe, rocketed from 13th and 12th up to 2nd and 3rd for the safety car.
Yeah, no, it was an astonishing start. I look forward to being able to see your escapades through the rest of the season, but perhaps just not the best way to start the season, unfortunately.
It's got to happen to someone, eh?
Yeah, man. Well, at least you've got a week to fault find and see what on earth caused those frame drops.
Yeah, I think I just need to fork out and get another processor, to be honest. But
oh, okay. What are you running at the moment?
An old i5.
No.
It's a very old motherboard, so.
Yeah. Oh, I don't envy you. At least it's not a graphics card.
Yeah.
It could be a lot worse. Cameron, thank you for dropping in. Really appreciate it. Best of luck through the rest of the championship. Just a bit of a shame tonight, unfortunately.
Pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
No worries, mate. Have a lovely evening.
You too.
Disappointing end for Cameron Drake there, but a race we have left to run. Mixix still pushing on the back of that number 2 BMW. Not for positioning class is this, but absolutely for pride. Sean Buck, an astonishing drive, and I think this has all been done through strategy as well. That BMW is not necessarily the fastest in the race at the moment, but he has absolutely used the opportunities afforded to him in the number 2 BMW. Speaking of opportunities,
this is race control. Car number 68 gets a drive-through for causing a collision with car 899. Car number 42 gets a 20-second time penalty for causing a collision with car 886. Over.
20 seconds is a big penalty for Paul Venter. That is lap 18, turn 10, causing a collision with the 886 car. That's a massive penalty. Zivkovic with a drive-through penalty. This is massive from second position. Oh my goodness, a drive-through for the 68 Lamborghini. I'm astonished. It is going to be Dan Minton is going to be on the podium from the back of the field with fastest lap as well. There's 10 minutes left. Don't curse it. 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 I have all my fingers crossed. Zivkovic to the pits and immediately falls to third. It is going to be a further 10 seconds before Minton will take that position. There we go. Minton to 3rd position in the Pro class. Oh my goodness. Absolutely astonishing. Van Coyle has a drive-through to serve as well, which will promote Mattia Mex immediately to that 15th position. Bullion is going to lose out as well. Paul Venter has got 20 seconds to serve, but I think there is time there. A very, very dirty BMW serves a drive-through as they come through the pit. What else is going on? Nida Zak is up behind Remco Langendijk on the timing screens. Fuertes is pressuring the number 7 car. No, Fuertes has lost out to Miljevic. And Miljevic now is looking to make up time on Nida Zak. That was the Audi versus McLaren. What a tale of woe for Zoran Joncic in the 24 car. Started off so strongly, and this race has just got away from him. I take it we still have the full Minton clan in YouTube chat then. What a drive for your boy. And that's just absolutely astonishing pace to get that 888 car back. The 899 now pressuring the 36 of Remco Langendijk. No, that's a different... That is a massive amount of time made up very, very quickly. So this isn't over for 5th position in Pro Class. Down the start, finish straight they come. There is the slightest bit of overspeed for Nida Zak. The Aston Martin knows it, is going to force the McLaren to the outside, but leaves the car width. That's always a mistake when you're fighting with Nida Zak. The McLaren looks to the inside, gets on the brakes. He's just in line with the rear wheel, enough to make Remco think about it. That will make him abort his line on the exit, and now the McLaren has ever so slightly more overspeed. Coming down into turn 3 they come. McLaren goes back to the racing line, will try and hold it, but gets a massive slide through the second part of Hotel du Camp, and Saint-Baume is where they are now. Up on towards the Mistral straight they come. The McLaren is going to be fairly level pegging with the Aston Martin, but with the draft perhaps maybe, but Miljevic is up behind as well. He is well in the draft as well. So this is McLaren, Aston Martin in reverse order. The McLaren's got ever so slight overspeed, but Miljevic with the double boost is going to make it 3 wide as they come towards Signa Corner. There's no way he's going to be able to make it work around the outside.
This is race control. Car number 4 gets a drive-through for causing a collision with car 74.
Absolutely. They are still side by side, coming through into Busan. The number 7 car tries to turn in, but can't. Absolutely nothing the 36 car could do there. But Remco Langendijk loses out 1 position when he could have lost 2. What incredible action. That was so unfortunate for the 7 car, but really nothing. That's racing incident of racing incidents. There's nothing that Remco Langendijk could have done in that instance. Coming down to 6 minutes to go, and now Remco's under pressure from Fuertes. Another Audi looks to the outside this time. This is a brave move from the Audi. Has the performance? No, not quite. The Aston gets in towards turn 1 first on this occasion. But coming down to Hotel, what are they going to do this time around? The Audi, it's very, very pointy still. The Gen 2 car comes down out onto the Mistral straight once again, and what can the Audi do up in the draft of the Aston Martin? This is a very different prospect to what we saw just now from the McLaren. Mixig still up behind the now second place overall Sean Buck. Oh my goodness, what a drive from Sean Buck. It'd be excellent to have words with him. Aston Martin goes defensive as he can go, comes back to the racing line. The Audi's not going to try it this time, but maybe gets a much tighter apex as they come through Signa up towards Buisson, and we're going to see a repeat of what we saw just now. 36 push to the outside. The 806 car makes it look easy for Fuertes there, and will take the position and defends vehemently up towards Bendor. And that is the position absolutely cemented in this case. Miljevic now up behind the 68 car of Zivkovic, who's just served that drive-through penalty recently. That's how tight this field is. That's what a drive-through does to you. It's the same as a spin, which is astonishing. Difficult fight for Miljevic here, though, against Zivkovic. It's going to be a very, very different fight to what he was dealing with just now against the Aston Martin and the Audi. But a fight that he is up for. It looks as though, is that Miljevic? So it is the Ivo Miljevic in the 998 car and Marko Miljevic in the number 7 car that is performing very, very well. Miljevic in second position in the AM class. I wonder if how many adjustments we're going to have to make following this opening round of the championship. Marko Miljevic under the rear wing of Zivkovic. No, it's Matej Metz up underneath the rear wing of Zivkovic here. Names. Miljevic. We have 2 minutes remaining. I am getting myself in interview mode a bit too early, I think, maybe. But so many headlines from this opening round. Which do you pick? Oh, big oversteer moment for Miljevic there. Perhaps an opportunity for the 886 car. Looks to the outside, which becomes the inside, but not enough braking performance in that Mercedes to be able to make it work. The McLaren will keep the position. 2 absolutely top drivers. We'll see here. This is the 996 up behind the Sean Buck number 2. Absolutely up onto the Mistral straight. I dare say we're not going to see a pass made by a Porsche up here. It's just about hanging on for the time being. Needed to stop for a breath there. It all got very, very, very rushed very quickly. This, I'm pretty sure Matej will have had enough of having a look at the back of that Sean Buck BMW come the end of this race. It looks incredible coming through Signa corner with them running so closely. But remember, that Sean Buck car is not for position in class. That is the leading AM car. That is circulating around in second overall. An astonishing drive from Sean Buck and an understandable, as we have come to expect, I think, drive from the... Oh, as Sean Buck gets it all wrong, lets the Porsche go. I think it's a little too late. But it will be BMW. Yeah, he let him go. He's held on long enough. There's no reason. Yeah, 809 car. But there's some, as I say, some incredible headlines to take from this race. The 809 car going from 20th to P7 there is that drive-through to be served for the 58 car as well. Dan Minton almost last when it came to the end of lap 1, coming back to 3rd position in the Pro class. Borovic somehow rising above it all. I thought you meant 806. That seemed very wrong. Yeah. 806 is Fuentes in the Pro class. My goodness, what a race it has been. Borovic must be coming close to the... He's coming around Buisson now. Philippe Borovic, what a drive, was pushed for the pole, but when it came to the race, absolutely no one could touch the Pirate Racing driver. It's a line that we've heard many times before, but it's a line that we never get bored of. There's 2 more corners to go and a 17.8 second gap to the car behind, very much helped by the BMW markmate of Sean Buck. But round the final corner comes Philippe Borovic to take the opening round victory of International Sim Drivers Association GT3 series, Spring Series of 2022. An outstanding victory for the 22 BMW. A further 17 seconds further back will be Matej Miksik as they come across the line. It's almost a second place for Dan Minton from so far down the field, but Miksik will take second. Dan Minton will take third in class, but will be usurped overall by Miksik in that AM car number 2. Jamie Noble will bring it home in 5th overall. Nida Zak to 6th. Fuentes to 7th, as said in chat. Miljevic, it will be the second AM car in 8th position. 9th will be Remco Lamgate. 10th will be Aidan Doyle, and Andrew Brooker will bring the 130 home in 11th. Zivkovic will bring the 68 Lamborghini back in 12th. Very much an evening of what could have been for him. Mex, another car of what could have been, will bring home the 886 to 13th. Miljevic, the other Miljevic, will bring home the 7 McLaren in 14th. 15th will be Doyle in the M4 GT3. 16th will be Otto Winkler. 17th will be Tonsic. Van Koylien's 18th. Sabata 19th. Bullion in 20th. Joncic in 21st. Bullion 22nd. Vucinic in the Audi will come home 23rd. 24th will be Robson. 25th will be Dunster. Van Koyli again. George in 26th. 27th will be Paul Venter. And 28th will be Jack Vermeulen. We lost a car in that cool-down session, but we'll have to wait and hope for the rest of the drivers to finish. It is only the Venter and Vermeulen are both in the pits. I think we are to the end of the session. Or did we may have had a retire. the Venter and Vermeulen cars look as though they have pitted a lap early. For some reason or other, did they miscount or something? So Wilson had a power failure, which caused the issue there. But a difficult, lots of apologies coming through in the GT3 general chat. But with all of that said and done, let's have a look at the overall standings. Yeah, I agree with you, Dakusa. Absolutely should have seen the Boravet's taking the Jaguar just for a bit of balance. I totally agree with you there. So, in the end, it was Philippe Boravet to the win, Miksic to second, Sean Buck third, Minton fourth, Noble fifth, Zach sixth, Miljevic seventh, Doyle eighth, ninth will be Brucker, Zivkovic in 10th, Mex. All of these, the drivers are leaving, so it's making life very, very difficult to see what's going on there. First into the Combox, we have to have our leader and the standout overperformer of the AM class, Mr. Sean Buck.
Hey, Mr. Ike!
I recognise your voice. Welcome to ISDA. You need nerfing, mate, honestly. Judging by the race performance.
Look, don't judge me tonight by my race performance. I love Paul Ricard. It's just one of my favorite tracks. So I think my performance is purely just based because I love this track. It's one of my favorites, and I do thoroughly enjoy racing on it.
You are a peculiar driver. There are so many people who say they hate this racetrack. I'm so glad that that we agree with you. I agree with you for sure. I think Paul Ricard gets way more shtick than it deserves.
Yes.
It wasn't. That was. It was a difficult start to the race. The qualifying didn't quite go according to plan. I dare say that it was the strategy that made it work for you in the end in that pit stop window. Just the clear air perhaps gave you the space to make that BMW work. And then you ended up, wow, what a finish.
No, that's true. Again, it wasn't the best of starts. I really don't know what has happened. I think whatever happened in front, I marginally gained whatever I gained. But I thoroughly enjoyed the race itself. The strategy was to go pit early because we kind of knew that we would potentially overcook our tires in the first stint because you want to push so hard. You want to be with the guys that have gone quick down the straight. So that was the strategy. We knew an undercut would probably help us gain at least 1 or 2 seconds. So that really worked very well.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be running around in second position when you're supposed to be an AM car, a bit of an ego trip?
No, it's just because I love the track, man. The other tracks are coming. You're gonna see me way at the bottom, most likely. It's because I love it, because I've spent so much time practicing on, training on it, did a lot of events on it. I really miss it, and it's just one of my ultimate tracks. And you know me, I like being consistent, and I've always been consistent. So to me, consistency wins races. If you can put it down lap by lap, no track cuts, and just focus on your race, then you can do well.
Well, for sure. I think your consistency won you quite comprehensively this race, for sure. In the end, having to let Matej Miksic go past because that BMW was just strong where the Porsche wasn't.
Yes, I was really struggling the last 2 laps with my tire wear, and I was kind of feeling that I didn't have the necessary grip in the corner, especially in Sector 1 and Sector 3. Mm-hmm. So I kind of went a bit too deep in that last corner, and by going that extra deep, I thought, okay, well, I'll let the Porsche go because he's been on me the whole time, and I think he just did a fantastic race. So it was just one of those bad estimations on a corner break, and I let it go.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fair. I totally understand that. But a strong start to go into the rest of the season. If we're going to see your more realistic pace through the rest of the season, I mean, you started off in the right way, mate.
Yeah, you are. I believe me. You're gonna see me way at the back there somewhere. It's just because I do like this track. It's just one of those nice ones. I don't even know what next week's race is.
Imola.
What is it? Imola. Yeah, no, I'm terrible at Imola. I'm awful.
It's a good racetrack, though, isn't it?
Yes, it is, but it doesn't love me. That's the only thing. I've never found the good grips with it. It doesn't gel with me. I am probably going to be at the back of the pack because I really don't like that track. Well, I like it. It doesn't like me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we look forward to seeing you out there, Sean.
Sweet. No problem. See you, Ike. Thanks
yes.
for the commentating and stream, man. Gonna watch it for sure.
Yeah. I'm only standing in. You don't get used to having me here. I'm still midway through a house move. I had to get my PC set up today just so that we could, so I could stand in. So it's been a bit of a rush job.
Oh, good, Captain.
You have a lovely evening, my
Seeing you.
friend. We'll see you
too.
next time.
Ciao.
Who do we have next into the com box? Oh my goodness, who do we have of our? We have Miljevic. Where is Ivo? Ivo Miljevic, second in the AM class. I think this is Ivo Miljevic.
Hi.
Hello, my friend.
Yeah.
I've not spoken to you before.
No, I never had such a good race.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah, this time I'm feeling really happy. So
I'm not surprised. How was the McLaren around this Paul Ricard circuit? Congratulations, a second place in the AM class is an astonishing finish.
Yeah, it's really good. Last year I drove Mercedes. I feel like McLaren is, at least it suits me much better. So really happy with the choice of the car, and yeah, the race was amazing. I was surrounded by the pro guys, so I had to be a bit more careful. But yeah, no accidents, so yeah, great race. And the pace was there, so I'm hoping for a move to the pro category, honestly. I was kind of hoping for that, but
yeah, I was going to say I'm not going to promise anything. That's not my job. But yeah, absolutely. I will say it was a very, very consistent and strong race from you in that McLaren. Congratulations on your consistency, because we saw your family of some description.
Yeah. We are brothers. Yeah, he's a bit younger. He's 3 or 4 years younger. So I think you can see that in races. You can see that. You can see that in the driving. Yeah, he's kind of faster, but then he makes more mistakes, or he's involved in more accidents. So
yeah, you absolutely showed that the consistency is the way to go. Hopefully he'll learn from you, eh?
Yeah, telling him all the time. He doesn't seem to get it. Yeah, great race. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Hopefully we'll see more of that and more of you through the rest of the season. Hopefully you found a home in that McLaren, because it is a very, very good looking car.
Yeah, suits me. It feels nice. All right.
Yeah.
I hope it was a good race to watch. I don't know about the others. It seems like the track is very well suited for racing.
Yes. Oh no. Paul Ricard. We literally just had Sean Buck in the chat in the box just now, and my goodness. Yes, it's an extraordinary track, and it is so well received. By so many people. I think the only people who actually complain about it are Formula 1 drivers, and they don't know anything.
I don't know if I've ever driven this track before in this game or simulator, or anywhere. So I had a little bit of practice for this race. So I'm really surprised by the pace.
Yeah. If that's the case, welcome to Paul Ricard. It seems that it likes you.
Yeah, I'll come back next year as well.
That's it. You'll need to come back more often. Next time we'll throw some rain at you just to make it more difficult. Next time we're over to Imola. So we look forward to seeing if you can repeat the performance next time out. All right, Eva.
Yeah, I look forward as well.
You have a lovely evening, my friend, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, you too. Thank you for having me.
There we go. Next into the combox, who do we have to speak to? Zivkovic had an actual night to forget. No, first we need to speak to our third place. Yeah, Zivkovic had a night to forget, really. First of all, we need to speak to our third place in Pro, and I think the driver who takes the record for most cars passed tonight, Mr. Dan Minton. What on earth have you been drinking? Because I need some.
I don't know. I was just on a mission after the first corner.
Is it safe to say that you enjoy driving the Bentley?
Yeah, that was good. It's good to be back in a Bentley. That was good. That was good fun. That was like after the first corner. I thought I was waiting for the safety car to come out, and then I thought I'll just go and get the damage fixed, and then just went for it.
It
But
looks
I didn't really. Sorry, mate. I really didn't think I was going to get up there though.
No, it looked as though there was a lot of damage on the, or it looked as though it was a big impact on when the car went sideways. Was there a lot of damage to fix, or was it surprisingly minor?
32 seconds.
That's not a lot of damage compared to what it could
Nah,
have been.
nah, that's right. Well, I spun, and then obviously I lost control, and then Jamie hit me, so
Yeah,
which is a bit unfortunate
of
for him as well. So yeah, but the car would have been slow anyway. So I thought I was just waiting for the safety car to come out. And I went in, and then it all sort of worked out, and then I couldn't believe it after the pit stops, and I was like 7th place or something.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's an
what is going on?
astonishing finish, and as always,
Enjoyed that.
it's your consistency and your strategy that's won you the day today, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, it's a consistency. I mean, I got in the zone, and then that was it. Then, and yeah, and everyone was well nice and clean, and that fighting and that, so made life a bit easier.
Yeah, it does make life easier when you can trust the drivers around you, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's amazing. Like when you come from the back like that, you can end up driving differently because there's no pressure on yourself.
Yeah,
because you can only go forward, can't you, if you're right at the back? So yeah, it's a nice feeling to drive like that.
It's nice to not be driving in your mirrors.
No, exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but no, I chuffed with that. That was good.
Massive performance. Really showed exactly what you're capable of tonight, Dan.
Cheers, mate. Cheers.
And I love the race that you put up the other day on your YouTube channel as well.
The brands.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that track. It still looks just as insane coming up, going over Paddock Hill Bend.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Absolutely insane.
Amazing to drive. Yeah, really good.
They are. Have a good evening. We look forward to seeing what you can get done at Imola next week. All right.
Yeah, nice one, mate.
Cheers, mate. Have a good one.
Cheers, mate.
Absolutely brings out the worst in my accent. He really does. Next into the com box, let's have words with Radoslav Zivkovic, who had a bit of a night to forget in that Lamborghini, but still managed to score really, really good points towards the championships. Radoslav, how was that race overall?
It was a good race, but it's just a sour taste in the mouth.
I totally understand that. I really do.
I think the penalties was too harsh. Zach lost only one position to that incident, and he brake earlier that lap than previous laps on that spot. So I have nowhere to go. I'm guilty. I put my blame on me, but man, that drive-through is just too harsh for that incident. I think because in the last race, in the last championship at Kilami, Ivo Miljevic did the same to me. I lost 4 places, and he get 20-second penalty for that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think the drive-through is just too harsh.
Well, that's something
that kind of incident.
I'll say it's something that you can appeal, and the race stewards here are very, very fair with the way that they apportion penalties and the like. And if they do find something wrong post-race, then they will fix it. So if you feel like you need to, then I totally agree that you should appeal it. Yeah, it was a tough race for you regardless. Like it was up and down the leaderboards like a yo-yo at times. But how's the Lamborghini treating you as far as the performance is concerned? You comfortable in the car?
Yeah, it's a kind of a car against the Jaguar that I used to drive. It's much easier to drive. Yeah. So the pace can be a constant one.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's well balanced car. I don't know why nobody likes it.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's different strokes for different folks, but that's the beauty of GT3 is we have all the different types of cars, the different formula, the different sizes of cars that allow us to have different driving styles.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, but a bit of a night to forget. Absolutely put that appeal in if you want to. But hopefully we'll have a much better race for you at Imola next time out.
Yeah, I agree. But if I appeal, nothing can change the final score at the race.
Oh, it can change the final score of the race.
No.
Depending on how things go. It's worth appealing. If you feel grieved by it, it's definitely worth looking at.
Yeah.
All right, man.
We'll think about it.
Yeah, good man. Definitely think about it. You have a good rest of your evening. Sorry for the way that this race has gone, but hopefully you come back stronger next time at Imola.
Yeah, thank you, Ike.
Have a good evening, man.
Bye.
Next, we will do what I think we should have done a while ago. Let's grab this man and interview the two of the Pirate Racing drivers. Or not Pirate Racing in the case of Mr. Mixic. Philippe, it looks as though you controlled that race from the front and never really had much of a challenge, but a departure from the Porsche. Talk us through that choice.
First of all, hello, Ike.
Hello, mate.
Good to see you again.
Thank you.
I wanted to try something else. And I always liked the sound of the M6, so I chose that car just for fun. Nothing too serious, and it was actually quite good at Paul Ricard, and finally I have some straight line speed, so that's fun.
It must be a very different experience to be fast in Sector 2 and slow
it is.
in the other two sectors.
I mean, it just puts a smile on my face when I pass someone on the straight, because I've never done that before.
It must be, as I say, it must be a very different experience going from a rear-engine Porsche to the front-engine BMW. You didn't even go to a mid-engine car first. You just went extreme to extreme.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's actually a fun car. So it's not the newest GT3. You have to wrestle with it a bit, and it's cool. I always like a challenge, so that's what I chose.
I was going to say, it sounds as though it's a massive. It is a bit of a challenge, but that car is an absolute boat. I didn't even notice that it wasn't the new M4.
Yeah.
That's how. Well, the best way to put it, I think, is that your pace is undeniable, and even in a slower, out of BOP potentially car, you're an absolute force to be reckoned with. It's a wonderful thing to have that M6 at the front of the field, and I can't wait to see what you get up to in the rest of the season, I think.
Yeah, I just wanted to win one race with it. And
you've done that.
Yeah, and it happened here, but I want to apologize to Mattia Max. I killed him in the first lap when the full course yellow was announced.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not sure who's to blame. It's probably me because I was behind him. But I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't get called for that, and I was surprised that you weren't.
I watched the replay. So he pushed the brakes and he turned a bit left in my line, so it just surprised me. Mm-hmm. So I touched him a little bit and spun him around. So I actually think he would have won the race. He had some great pace.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was the change of line that made them say that it wasn't your fault.
Yeah, we'll see.
Perhaps we'll see. We'll see. You can always have a discussion with race control at the end. At the end of the day, and we'll find out at some point. But Philip, congratulations! Another race very well controlled from the front, and I think even with that 886 chasing you down, I think you would have had a fairly decent shot at the race win. Because the strength of Pirate Racing generally is the strategy as well as the pace. Let's turn to Matej. Matej?
Hello.
How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah. Very good, thank you.
A absolutely astonishing race for you.
Yeah.
And hunting down the number 2 BMW for the latter stages of the race. How was the race from your perspective?
Ah, yeah, it was amazing. I spun out after the straight and broke my tires fully, so I was just waiting for the pit stop to get open so I can change them. And I had pretty good pit stop, so I gained, I think, 2 positions through that. And then I was pushing a bit too much maybe. But then when I got behind him, I had great pace, but I couldn't overtake him anywhere because he was so much faster in the first sector and the straight. So nothing for me.
No, absolutely. But this is just the first round of a 7-round championship, and there's plenty left to come through the rest of the season. We go to Imola next. Both you gents looking forward to the return to the Italian countryside?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how to drive that track.
Oh,
it's very hard for me. No, it's amazing,
Porsche
but
sucks there.
Yeah, but it's very, very hard, especially that chicane. I'm always praying not to die, but almost every time I die somewhere there.
That's all right. Just pump the tires up and go over it on 2 wheels. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, like the new Cup car.
That's
all
it.
4 wheels.
That's it. 4 wheels off the floor, jump the curb. It's all good.
We'll try.
Perfect. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. We will see you next time out.
Thank you, Aki.
Thank you.
Good evening, gents.
Bye. Enjoy.
Next, we need to speak very quickly to the Team Bean car of Jamie Noble. A difficult start to the season, I think it's fair to say.
It was alright, wasn't it?
It was alright.
Well, I mean, if you look at the end, I went from P7 to P5, but I just took a slight detour to P30.
You did take an ever so slight detour. It was a slight detour.
Yeah, just a bit.
I don't know what to say. I really don't. As a way to start a new season, as a way to start any race, but especially the first race of the season, it's not ideal, is it?
It was fun though.
I bet it was.
I think realistically, I don't know if I would have actually been able to finish any higher anyways. So I don't know how much of a difference it made.
Yeah, we did have Dan in just now, and he said how your mindset changes when you're trying to work from the back. There's less, you put less pressure on yourself. You're not looking in your mirrors as much. You're pushing forward as opposed to worrying about people from behind. You find a similar experience for yourself?
Well, yeah, I guess I knew that coming from the back I was going to be quicker than most of the grid based off qualifying. And I mean, if I put the lap together in qualifying, I probably would have been about 5/10 quicker. My best quali lap in practice was a 55.2. Yeah, I actually don't know what I did this time. I don't know, but yeah, there was a lot less pressure. I just decided I'd have fun, just send it.
Yeah, that's the way. That's the way to have a race, isn't it?
Yeah, it was good.
Absolutely extraordinary race for both you and Dan. We loads of times that we saw you battling with each other and everyone else around the field. But yeah, really good opening gambit in the end.
The beans gave me power.
Yes, of course they did.
Yeah. I
still hold that in derision. No, next time out at Imola?
I like Imola.
Yeah. McLaren strong at Imola?
I guess that's to be find out over the next week.
I was going to say, we'll find out next week.
Probably stronger than it is at Paul Ricard.
Perhaps.
I mean, there isn't as big of a straight in it. More corners.
Yeah. A lot more corners. Yeah. They added the corners because the straights proved to be deadly.
Unfortunately.
Yes, absolutely. Jamie, it's wonderful to have you in the championship again. We'll look forward to seeing you next time out at Imola. And keep that bean car clean.
It will. It'll be spotless.
Perfect. See you later, mate.
Bye.
Next, into the combox, we need to have a word with Zoran John. I'm not going to be able to. How do I pronounce your surname? Huh?
Jonic.
Jonic.
Yes.
I'm very sorry. Don't watch the replay back because I pronounce it wrong the entire time.
It's all right.
I'm very sorry. Zoran Joncic. A difficult race for you in the 24 car.
Yes, very difficult, almost very boring in the end. So,
but an excellent qualifying. Talk us through your view of events, because you absolutely outperformed that Honda.
Yes, because before the event, I tried some different cars because I'm new to this game. I used to race in iRacing like 2 years ago. I mean 6-7 years ago, but I stopped like 2 years ago, and I used to race with Romano. We were in the same team. We are friends in real life, right?
Right.
And I took a break and tried to, because of the real life issues, I couldn't be able to drive sim racing in general. So I joined again and made some cockpit, and he told me to join this organization. I watched few races of the last season, and I really liked it in the end. So for now, it's all about me to trying to adjust myself to new game, new cars, because I used to race F1 cars, and that's it basically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in fairness, of all the ways to adjust, ISDA is probably one of the best ways to adjust. They're incredibly fair, as I hope you saw tonight. The stewarding is also harsh but fair.
Yeah. Well, it's in the end I had really bad luck at start. I already apologized to Dan Minton because I had slight understeer in turn 2. Which caused a little bit of contact, but after that I saw the full course yellow. I hit the brake and I got smashed from behind by someone, I don't know. And okay, it was okay. Then I pitted to repair the car, and after the restart, few laps later, I wanted to restart like easy. I didn't want to fight much because some cars around me were pretty fast. And after that, some BMW spun in front of me, and I hit him because in that long right-hander, because I hit the brake so hard, I just went too straight to him, so that ruined my race. And in the end, it was all about like hot lapping, because every lap is good practice. And my goal was to not get lapped by Philip, so I tried to hold like good pace, and I even called the fastest lap for some time. Nice. But in the end, it was good practice, I would say.
Yeah. At this point in time, it's just getting the experience in.
Yes, because these cars are this game is so much different. Getting used to the brake and used to the ABS and traction control and everything is much different from iRacing I got used to. So right now it's like 2 months I'm racing this. I'm happy at the moment with my pace and everything. I can get better probably, but right now I'm really happy. So that's it.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Zoran, it's wonderful to have you a part of the championship, and we look forward to seeing the NSX near the top of the timing screens in the future races.
Yeah. I picked the NSX because I always like to race like some underdog cars, like let's call it like that, because I tried some races on other like LFM or what it's called, and everybody's racing like BMWs, Audis, and like stuff that works pretty well all around. So for Honda, it got as I was reading that it got some updates, and basically right now you cannot find any setup on the internet because all the mechanics has got changed. So I'm working all by myself, but it's really nice and enjoyable experience because practice is interesting. It's not like loading the setup and going lap by lap. It's like loading and fixing the car and getting faster.
Yeah, no,
basically
that's awesome.
That's
awesome.
it. But I don't think that in next races that Honda will be this competitive, because here it's really quick on the straight. I can hit like 283 in qualifying, so it's really crazy, even faster than M6 on the straight. But on the other tracks, I will see what I can do. Basically, that's it.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to seeing whatever that NSX can get to through the rest of the season. Zoran Joncic, it's wonderful to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Goodbye.
See ya. Lastly, into the com box, and very patiently, very sorry, Andrew, there was a lot of people to get through. As always, it's wonderful to have you here. A difficult evening for the Porsche, but you probably expected that.
Yes, hello, Alec. No worries, it's all good. I don't mind waiting. It's fine. Yeah, it was a tough race, but I did expect it. I did think that my tyres were just starting to get to where they needed to be, and I was going to be able to push forward. But yeah, I had a little accident and got some damage. I'm happy with the result in the end. I think I said I'd be happy for top 10, and I got 11th. So
yeah,
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is that the rest of the tracks will come to you through the rest of the season. Imola, Zolder, Brands Hatch, they're all a lot more...
Alani.
Yes, Kalami, of course. They're all going to be very much more the stomping ground of the Porsches.
Yeah. I had some good battles there as well. I had good battles with Otto and some of the newer lads, Paul Venter and a few others, I think. Yeah.
A load of good lads there. We've got a load of guys in from Logistical Nightmare.
That's
racing.
the ones.
Yeah,
that's the ones.
Another group that I commentated for and may have accidentally slipped a mention of ISDA in.
Cool.
So now they're invading.
It's good. We got some more numbers now on track.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. But your drive is always pretty much peerless since last season. You've really got the Porsche hooked up how you seem to like it. So hopefully we'll see some performances from you that we can keep an eye on, more of an eye on, further up the field.
Hopefully, yeah. I'm looking forward to next week again.
I always any time that we get the opportunity to go to Imola, I'll always look forward to it.
Yeah, should be good.
Yeah, man. You have a lovely evening, my friend.
Thank you, Ike. You too.
And we'll speak to you next time.
Yeah, take care, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers.
See ya.
And with that, I think it's about time that we wrapped this up. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been extraordinarily precious to be able to open this season once again. As always, if you want to get involved with the International Sim Drivers Association, feel free to do so by visiting isdaracing.com. Get yourself signed up, and you never know, maybe you will be the person that I speak to at the end of your very first race here at ISDA. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Sky, and we will see you all next time out in the Italian hills of